and we got the family series running again. So welcome back to that. We saw the UH-1Ds, and this particular one is for a Bell UH-1D, which they called the Iroquois, and I think the Americans refer to it a little bit too as the Slick. It's a much bigger unit than the 1Bs. So in this case, there's more opportunity to change a few things and bring it into the Australian way of look. So yeah, let's get into that one. It's a pearl. Well, here we go, another day, another plane. What we're doing is, let's find the box. That one. So this is the follow on to the two B models. This is the D model, now named Iroquois on that. And again, we're going to do it in an Australian format. Probably not Vietnam timing though, because of the size of it. So yep, we're working on it. And so far we've put the main pieces in, joystick, rotor arm, foot pedals. I've put the seats to the mounts, added on the back here a crossbar here which didn't exist, and a vertical bar which is what the seat belts are attached to, but seeing they don't in this particular model put the seat belts on, I'm going to have to do that. Funnily enough, in the old one, the B model, it had them moulded on there nicely and they looked quite good. Now, so I have to do that for those two seats. The decal I'll put on that later and put that in, which is terrific. They actually put the hole in here this time again. Great. They're rocket pieces which will go here, but to added weight I've put some lead in underneath that, which is the same amount of lead I put in the other two. It sits about there. Same amount of weight I put in the other two, so hopefully that works. Otherwise I will stick another little bit of lead in here, which may rattle. That's the only downside. Positives here are the no, they're not that, they go this way anyway, sort of like that, and they sit there. The seats are here, 4 across. Don't have any seat belts on them, and I'd have to have a look because I don't know whether they are seat belts. And we have the outboard seats that sit in there, so, and the roof, which is good, and you have to drill some holes through here for certain pieces, and also drill holes for the back seats that are going to go in across here. So yeah, bits and pieces. I do have other seats, and instead of having that there, you can put where is it? You can put a row of seats across here anyway, so which is one more seat. Why is it wider there? I know, I think I might have pulled the wrong one out. That should be a 5 across there. That's why the thing, yeah, they fit there, and the 4 seats run across there. And there. So we're not doing the 4-seat additional configuration, which would be nice to have it in there because these they really look good, but they don't even have seat belts at all on any of that stuff either. So I'll have to go back and have a look at my my pictures. I'm sure they do. Alright, so basically got to paint all that up, which is good. We can do that, and then we can put things together. But yeah, seat belts on those is a go, so I have to cut up and do some buckles and some bits and pieces on that. So that's what we're up to. And we've got these off, which I've got to take some of the pieces, but the beautiful thing here is the lift hook is in there actually this time. So good, all things going, we're going along well. I think I might be mixing up some paint. I'm going to put the last touches on doing up the screen. I've got the seat belts there, I just need to wait for the glue to set and paint them the pale green that they are. There's no seat belts in this model across there, which I recall was the correct way. What else have I got to do? Yeah, so instrument panel, above instrument panel and between pilot's instrument panel is going to go on now, and that shall knock up the door. I've done the internal panels on the doors, touched up all the engines and all that sort of thing, so a lot of the stuff will just fit in because of the size of it. It's not a problem. So let's throw that in the pot. Come on out. Put you on there. Don't know why I've got that thing on there, it's still right. It's almost in a good position. A little off. One of those that hasn't been used. Squirt down, bowl out. Voila, one instrument panel 2D. The one I did on the previous one was instrument panel 3D. Oh, get off a finger. Basically the same printout, that is. I think you're getting away with it pretty easy on that. Okay, now the hardy of the lot. Right, that one's on. Give that a little bit of a thing and let that dry. On top, let that sit down. There's no ridges, it's all flat surface, so pretty easy. In and glued. So 70-second scale. Whoa, how much fun is that? Okay, we're looking good. We've got the colours in. We've got the thing. The flying things there in the air are the seat belts, and all I got to do is press them down, and we are about ready to have a fusion of left half, right half. Side piece here. Alright, let's have a look. That's pretty good, that's pretty good. It's all been undercoated, so that's a good start. Hopefully we won't have to use any thickener to it there, so I can put the tail wings in there, put the handles in there, that's safe. I can lose that, and put the undercarriage in there. Tuck all this stuff with sponge or masking tape. Oh, I can't do what I did last time because this whole piece here is here. Mask it before. No. Well, I've got sponge. I can cut it to size. that should be dry by now. Yep, you're off. Mounted and doesn't feel as wobbly as it does, so that's good. That's down tight, seems good. Right, now let's see how this fits into here. Somehow. How far forward does it go? And that's not... That feels more healthy. We'll live with that. And up gets there. Might have success on there. Well, hopefully we've got some point of contact in there that seems square. Let's throw the other part on. Okay, everybody back in your box. Now put this on. Yep, I think I got the weight. I was worried about that. And handles. Where did I put the handles? I said last time I wouldn't be putting these on the platter, did I? Oh well. What works, what works. Okay, let's have a look at them. Done. Now that's a helicopter. We'll let that sit. Well, we have green coat number 1 on. Looking pretty right. What I'm going to do now is do the panel work. Lightening it up with a bit of white, very fine, just squiggly things. So it looks like So it looks like the panels have faded. So that's next. We've blotched all that out quite well. Doors and doors done. While it's drying, I could probably paint that black too, and it's about ready to go on. So a couple of coats of paint, lacquer, grubby, messies, lacquer, and we should be done. There we go. A bit of a change in outlook. Bit of lines, bit of that, bit of colour on the nose, which is still drying. That we just got to wipe down the excess of the brown panel line accent colour, and yep, we can give her a semi-gloss coat, and we're on the way. Right, here we go again. Well, that was good. Just peel that straight off. That's a bloody hell. Just break that. Alright. Time to do the decals again. And that concludes our part of the decal positioning for the day. That's got to be sprayed, that's got to be sprayed. Matte. Matte, matte. Well, making inroads. We've got the guns on. So screen, windscreen, underneath parts, side windows. Got the doors and the sliders to do now, and the issue is that the clear panels that go in there are a little bit smaller than the opening. So it does create an issue, as is the case with the sliding doors. So, bit of super glue to go instead of the normal glue. So we'll get that last bit the doors on, all four, and then put the rotor on the top, and we'll have this thing buttoned up. Alright, we're going for the coup de grace. We're going to put that on there, and that will be completed. So let's work on the whole setup and try not to break any of the pieces off it that I've put on. And as I said, I've got to paint that line across there in black, that's alright. And the doors are on, opened, doors on the sides are on and open. It's all together. Watch me snap pieces off. Right, work on trying to get this thing on. Now it doesn't, that way. Right. Let's see if we can super glue some stuff together. Let's see how we get on. Now that goes up the chute, that goes up the chute, that goes into a hole there and a hole there, and that one goes into, I think, get this feeling that those two outside ones are a little too long. Right, let's line up the centre. That one, that one. Yeah. I think I need to go the fine print. Knock that down. No, it has no bearing on the... Right. Those two outside ones are just a fraction too long in the pop. Now the question remains, should I have done this with super glue, or should I have done it with standard stuff? Get the right tool out. That should make it even, Stephen. 60, 75, bring it down about there. 70, 65, 65. Stick in there. 68, 68, loving it, let that set. Still can't say I'm a fan of 70-second scale because that, but yeah, the stuff I built back then was probably not as intricate as this. That's probably what it's about. There's more detail in this now than what would have been years ago. You wouldn't have had so much interior, you wouldn't have a dashboard, you wouldn't have the instrument panel, you wouldn't have the ups and downs on the pieces. Doors would have been opened, so you would have been like a full moulded glass section you put inside, like you do, like we did with the top section. You'd be just bomb, one big moulded piece of glass inside. Seats, devoid, probably if you're lucky. The doors would never have been part of the whole package. They would have been part of the side panel, the whole fuselage. Hard to say, but still, as you get older, the challenges are more acceptable, so that's quite good. Alright, we'll just push him off there for a second while that's still thinking about it. We'll close the book on Slick Italeri, and we didn't do any of those paint schemes. Spanish, German, Italian, but did base a bit perhaps on the American style. More glass pieces off that. No, okay. Close the book, done. quite happy with that, really. It's massive. Massive amount of work. Still going to put that in. When you compare it to the size thereof, kickoff creature, who again is fits underneath there, so who again is a one, too close. You put the two together, they're with the tail wheel, that there probably the only thing. Yeah, it's a bigger tail wing area, and that there changes not too much, but a bigger tail wing area, stronger, bigger boom, longer boom. No, not too much, but the repositioning of the engine brings it forward into the fuselage, which means you have to bring that fuselage forward. So even on that, I'm looking at, yeah, it's fairly much squared away. Even on that, that's 10 millimeters longer. So what's 10 millimeters in 72nd scale? We're talking 30 feet is 2.4. Divide that by 3.5, 8 feet divided by 3 feet, so it's about a good foot or so longer. But the capacity with the new engine is that you've got seating for 5 across instead of 4 across, plus 2 in each side. And it's higher, it's longer, it's wider. Yes, it's wider. There's a massive change in machinery there. So, yep, interesting to do a D against a B model, which is, you know, one up from the intro to it. So, fantastic.